Hello, today we're going to start with Chapter 1. Chapter 1 is Introduction to Medical Terminology. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we will go ahead and bring it up. Okay, hope everybody can see this. So like I say, Chapter 1 is Introduction to the Medical Terminology. And this is kind of an intro to, we've got 15 chapters of the book, so we're going to go ahead with the first one here. So word parts are the key. Understanding word parts and how they are worked together to form medical terms will reinforce your word building skills. Most of the word parts in the medical terminology are of Latin origin. Others that you may see are Greek or other languages also, but Latin is the main one that you will see throughout this book. So we have four types of word parts. We've got the word root, the combining form, the suffix, and the prefix. And you can see here in the PowerPoint example here, the word root example would be gas, G-A-S-T-R, which means stomach. And then we have the combining form gastro, it's G-A-S-T-R/O, that's your combining form, which also means stomach. We have a suffix, example they give us itis. Itis is inflammation. And then we have a prefix, example they give us hyper, which is above or excessive. So the four types of word parts of the language, the word root, combining form, suffix, and prefix. So the word parts, which are the word roots, combining form, suffix, and prefixes, make up most medical terms. You can see they're all kind of just in a puzzle piece there. The word roots cannot stand alone. It actually does give the basic meaning of the word. It usually describes the part of the body that is involved. Suffixes are placed at the end of the word root, and the prefixes are placed at the beginning of a word root. Combining forms is usually an O. It's added to the end of the word root, and it really, the only reason they use the combining form is that vowel is just, it helps in the pronunciation. In combining two word roots, and combining form is added to the first word root. When your combining form is used at the end of the second word root, if the suffix begins with the vowel, is where you use that also. Here, this figure here is word roots act as a foundation for most medical terms. They usually, but not always, describe the part of the body. Word roots shown here as combining forms usually indicate the involved body part. So as you can see here, we have spinal cord. Combining form is myelo, muscle is myo, bone is osteo, nerve is neural, and joint is arthro. Some word roots indicate color as well, so you'll come across those within the language. Cyano is blue, erythro red, leuco white, melano black, and polio, which means gray. So you will also see some of the word roots indicate color as well. So let's take a look. The first one we're going to talk about are the suffixes. So the suffix just that is added at the end of a word to complete the term. It may indicate a procedure, condition, disorder, or a disease. Combining vowel is used when a suffix begins with a consonant. An example that they give us is neuroplasty. So when joining neural, which is nerve, with suffix plasty, surgical repairs, the plasty means, a combining vowel O is used because suffix begins with a consonant. A combining vowel is not used when suffix begins with a vowel. So example they give us is tonsillitis. When joining tonsil with suffix itis, which means inflammation, the combining vowel O is not used because you can see the suffix begins with the vowel. So you would not use that combining vowel O. So the term tonsillitis is created by adding a suffix to the word root tonsil. You can see how they add it as a puzzle piece there for you. Suffixes as noun endings, they may change the word root into a noun. A noun obviously is a person, place, or thing. Example, cranium, C-R-A-N-I is spelled. U-M is a noun ending. Suffixes may also change the meaning of a word root into an adjective. So adjective just defines or describes. An example would be cardiac. So cardi is heart, AC is pertaining to. So pertaining to the heart is how you would read that term, starting from the back, going across the front. They may also be used to change the meaning of a word root to describe an abnormal condition. So an example is gastrosis, G-A-S-T-R, stomach. Osis is an abnormal condition or disease. So looking at the term, gastrosis means abnormal condition or disease of the stomach. The next one we have, suffixes may be used to describe a disease that's be related to pathology. Study of all aspects of a disease is pathology. Examples, algae is pain and suffering, itis is inflammation, megaly means enlargement. May also be used to describe a procedure. Example, centesis, which means surgical puncture to remove fluid. Graphy is producing a picture or record. Scopy or scopy is visual examination. Then we have what they call the double R suffixes. Suffixes that begin with 2 of the letter R. They are Greek origin. And then I always just tell the students study them and then learn the differences to get to know them better. A couple examples they give is rage, R-R-H-A-G-E, and ragia, which both mean bleeding. They're mostly used to describe sudden severe bleeding. Example, hemorrhage. Hemorrhage is the loss of large amount of blood in a short time. Breaking that term down, we can break that term down. Hemo is blood. Ragia is abnormal excessive fluid discharge. Another one we have is raphy, which means surgical repair or surgical suturing. Myophy is the suturing of a muscle wound. Myo, M-Y/O is muscle. Raphy is surgical suturing. We have rhea, another double R suffix. It's just flow or discharge of body fluids. Diarrhea is the example they give us. DIA is through, rhea is flow or discharge. So diarrhea is a frequent flow of loose or watery stools. Rhexis or myorrhexis is the example that they give as rupture of a muscle. Myo muscle, rhexis is rupture. So those were their suffixes. Now we'll move on to the prefixes. So the prefixes and suffixes are at the end of the word. Prefixes are at the beginning of a word. And they usually indicate the location, time, or number. Examples, prenatal, which means before birth. Pre is before, nat is birth, and al is pertaining to. So looking at that term prenatal, means pertaining to before birth. Here the term prenatal is created by joining the suffix al to the word root nat and then adding the prefix pre. Contrasting and confusing prefixes may have similar spellings but different meanings. So the first one that they give us is ab is away from, ad is toward, inter is between or among, intra is within or inside. Knowing the meaning of the word parts often makes it possible to figure out the definition of an unfamiliar medical term. Taking terms apart, I always tell the student, look at the term and try to analyze that term. Take the term apart. So first separate into word parts, start from the suffix, then move toward the beginning, identifying the meaning of each part. Determine the context in which the term is used. Some word parts may have more than one meaning. Refer to the medical dictionary or an online trusted source just to double check your definition. Beware, not all terms are made up of word parts. So you're going to come across some terms, a lot of terms actually, that are not made up of word parts. So let's just show us an example here. Take a term apart. The first term that they give us is otolaryngology. O-L-O-G-Y, study out. Word root, larynx, L-A-R-Y-N-G, larynx or throat. Combining vowel is not used here because the word root is joining a suffix that begins with the vowel. You can see the vowel there. And then the rhino is nose. So the combining vowel is used here because the word root rhine is used joining another word root. So you would use your combining form. Here again, they give us the term in the puzzle. So to determine the meaning of a medical term, the word parts are separated, working from the end. So you're going to work back here, legi, to the word toward the beginning, legi. So it's study of oto's ear, rhino's nose, and laryngo's throat. So looking at the term and saying it's study of ear, nose, and throat is how you would define that. Guessing at meanings, attempt to decide the meaning of the word. Obviously, look at your word, try to break the word apart, analyze that word. Always double check for accuracy because some terms have more than one meaning. I always tell the students use medical dictionary if you're not sure. That's the best way to find out. Check out the definitions listed, and then make sure that spelling of your term obviously is correct. Searching for definitions on the internet, only use a reliable website. Refer to at least 2 websites, be aware of search terms, and then double checking spelling and meaning of the term which you're searching for. Always make sure that your term is spelled correctly before you start searching for it. Pronunciation, commonly accepted pronunciation appears in parentheses next to the term. So within your book, within the ebook, you're going to have those pronunciation in parentheses of each term, which is really nice. Pronounce a new word by saying it as it is spelled in the parentheses. Primary emphasis shown in uppercase, boldface letters. Edema, edema. Secondary emphasis shown in boldface, lowercase letters. Appendicitis. So there's lots of great exercises out there for you too for your pronunciation. Spelling is huge. It's always important. Changing just 1 letter or even 2 letters may completely change the meaning of the word. Many medical terms are known as look-alike and sound-alike. Singular and plural endings, usually unusual rules apply since many medical terms are of Latin or Greek origin. English endings have been adopted for some commonly used terms also. Further study may be required to learning medical terms that describe diseases and disease conditions. So just be aware of that. Look-alike, sound-alike terms and word parts. Many medical terms may look and sound alike, but their meanings are so different. So study these terms carefully. Example, they give quite a few examples here. Arterial, athero, and arthro. You can see here where there could be easily, they sound alike, look alike, but they certainly mean something different. Athero is plaque or fatty substance. Arthro is joint. Again, ectomy, ostomy, otomy. Ectomy, surgical removal. Ostomy is surgical creation of artificial opening to the body surface. And then tomy is cutting or surgical incision. This is one that, you pronounce the same. Ileum and ileum, I-L-E-U-M and I-L-I-U-M. I-L-E-U-M is the last and longest portion of the small intestine, where I-L-I-U-M is part of the hip bone. So you can see they're, sound alike, spelled just a little different, E instead of an I. Using abbreviations used frequently to record long and complex medical terms may lead to confusion and errors. You must be familiar with the do not use abbreviation list of your facility. So if you're working in a facility, each facility has their own do not use abbreviations. So because they can have so many different meanings. So always check with your facility first before you use abbreviations. Use only, obviously, the ones that are accepted by your staff. When in doubt, I always say spell out. So it's not confusing to anybody that's reading it. Okay, that's chapter 1, just an introduction. So you have your combining forms, prefixes, suffixes, and your word parts. Next, what's on the PowerPoint, which is already posted out there for you, too, in the unit, your answers to your questions. So if you've got questions while you're doing your homework, your answers are right here, and there's quite a few of them. I did include it in there. So, okay, I guess that's it. So, good luck. Have fun. Let's see, chapter 1. Make sure that you go through all your exercises that they have out there for you. And all right, thanks. Bye.